Welcome. I was flirting with a 2-minute intro. Maybe we need to try to get build the anticipation.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It felt like the club. I mean, like the green room or the club over here.
We get some glow sticks and start dancing.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone would love to see that.
You can see that Friday night state finals.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Friday night at was it the Hangar?
The Hangar.
Get that scheduled again because I think a lot of people like that. So welcome. We are episode number 218. Almost the 219 episode. What is 218 area code? It could be like Flow Wrestling.
I was talking to Hawkins about that today and yesterday. Shout out to Landon Hawkins. Got a fight under his belt. Got a dub.
Yeah, got choked him out. Had a nice little high crotch. I didn't know he knew how to do one of those.
Man, it was good too.
Yeah, no, that's he got on top, but put legs in, and doesn't have to worry about giving up defensive falls now. So,
man, you think that kid? I don't know who that kid he wrestled or fought was, but you think that kid, like when he got his back, was like, "Yep, probably not getting away. This guy knows what he's doing."
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about stall calls on top. He doesn't have to worry about people grabbing his head. Like, yeah, I mean,
maybe it sounded like a pretty good showing for the region. Supporting a lot of Crown Point people there, it sounded like. So
nice. That's good. Good to see.
I didn't even know they ran on pay-per-view. I would have watched it.
Yeah. So Brett Smith's driving tractors for the Parade of Champions, I guess. Can you use one to plow my driveway? Because I haven't done that yet.
Man. I did like a little snowblower.
Truck. Yeah. All right, we gotta shovel the sidewalks, but no one's going anywhere anyway.
Do you guys get a lot of snow?
About 7 or 8 inches.
Nice. So, well played, sir.
Yeah. I did break the news in the group chat yesterday. Andrew 6767 is not Andrew 6767 anymore.
Do you think that they took it away from him, or do you think he was just like, I got to lock in?
According to my inside source, he said that he did not do it. It was somebody with track or with USA Bracketing or the HSA. So, but he will forever be known as Andrew 6767 to us.
If I ever do a tournament on the mic and we got East Noble there, I'll hit him with 6767.
Yeah, yes. Are you gonna come do the Goshen Regional just so you can do that one introduction?
Nah. So I thinking of talking about like I keep wearing the channel. I can't wear it the whole show, so I forgot last week when I did the Hanover Central Lowell duel. Coach Schwarzkopf got me a T-shirt and he got me this pretty awesome gorilla chain here. Joe,
he told me infringement.
He told me to get it for copyright infringement. But man, I was talking to Joe Stanley, and I think this is really cool too. Is when you're winning tournaments and you're going to these like tournaments when you're a kid. This is for their King of the Ring tournament champs. They have cool stuff. Joe said there was somewhere that they used to hand out like real legit like belts. He said as good or better than the Super 32 belts. He said and they would go there every year.
Wow.
And he said it wasn't like a crazy like national tournament or anything. It was just like in Illinois, like Saturday tournament they're handing out belts. So I think it's like one of those things when you're a kid. And dude, obviously I'm a big kid, so I think this is pretty cool. When he gave me this, dude, I was pumped.
Yeah. Well, Spatola, around Cincinnati, they have a tournament. They give out like these big. They've given out. I think they've given out like these gladiator helmets. I think they give out like these shields now. They're pretty cool. They always do a real good job with awards. It's always neat to get something different rather than a medal, a plaque. I mean, there's some cool medals and stuff. I think the ISWA medals are really cool, but there's always something different. Something that you can hang your hat on that like. It's not the same thing that you get every time. So, yes, Ben, they are.
Man. Well, they said the Dodgers put, like, I know I told you this. The Dodgers put more of their revenue intake into their team than, like, 30 of the 32 clubs. So they reinvest more in their team than than the Cubs who have biblical losses or the White Sox who don't pay anybody.
Yeah. Yes.
The that they generate, they put it back into the team for the, pretty much what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah. Allegedly, yes. Yeah.
Not buy up all of Wrigleyville and claim poor.
Yes. Yes.
And
Oh
then,
no, we don't have any money. Yeah.
And then muscle up the rooftops.
What? Like the percentage that the Cubs spend is like bottom like 5 of their revenue. And they're one of the higher run of Purdue teams too, which is like if they would spend 60%, they would triple what they spend. I don't know. It's a get on. I listen to a baseball podcast pretty much almost every day, and they have some baseball players on there. They always say if the owners, you guys are investors, business people, if you're losing money, sell your team. No one's selling their team.
No
one's selling their team because they're making money.
Those guys are such good, and obviously, let's get clipped for the AI clips. But like obviously those guys are successful businessmen. If it was losing money, they would sell.
Yeah. I mean that's plain and simple.
I think they're gonna end up having to negotiate a salary cap, like a true salary cap.
Yeah, and it's gonna be. I hope they don't have a lockout or miss games. I'm sure there'll be a lockout of some sort for some time, but hopefully that's not good because the sport's doing really good right now, and you don't want to hurt the fans again because then you have to have steroids again to get people back in the sport.
But when they had them steroids, they were mashing them, right?
Yes. So anyway, man, that went off. Ben got us on a tangent.
Now we're talking about tractor trailer driving in the snow right now.
Yeah. See, we need Tuesday nights are our baseball podcast. That's on Indiana Bat.
Copyright infringement, man. That was now that Noemi's a junior, she'd be so mad if we come up with Indiana Bat 2 years later.
We can do it now. How do you think Robert would find out? Do I tell Robert that hey, I'm heading up this other endeavor for baseball, and since he's the head of he oversees baseball, do you think he'll just give me the look like no, don't do that?
Oh, 100%. We would just have to send like Chavez over to tell him, break it to him kindly.
Nice. Oh boy, this is off to a great you can tell we're not going to talk too much wrestling tonight because it's sectional week.
Sectionals, the end of the season, man.
Yeah,
crazy.
4 weeks left.
What percentage of the state loses at the sectional of the teams that compete?
What percentage? Let's see.
The percentage of the field that'll be done after this week.
So we have about 310 schools. So there are 16 sectionals. Or no, 32 sections. 32 sectionals, right? 32, 16, 4, right? Okay, yeah. So let's see. 32 times 4. So 128. So about 60%.
60% of the
about 60% are done. And that's a rough estimate. That's 41% are left. So yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So we're down to 40% of the wrestlers in the state. I mean, probably closer to 50 if you include forfeits, because there probably are. There's 10. There's at least 20 forfeits in each weight. So, but yeah, so we'll be down to the top 40%. So after this week, and then after that, it gets down to 20%, and then it gets down to 6%. So,
yeah, and I think a big thing for us, and I'm sure we'll talk about all the stuff that happened this past week, but a big thing that we're going to be looking for going into the sectionals is who's in and who's out. Mm-hmm. I know there were some people we were talking off air. I know I seen Phil tell us to focus in. Portage is one of those teams that has a handful of guys that have been in and out of the lineup, and just to, I know they got pretty banged up at Al Smith, so I'm interested to see who's in the lineup for those guys. Some guys that were out of the lineup this past weekend, we'll see if they're in the lineup. Some guys that were talking about coming back, so
Yeah. Who's going to be in? What weights? Sometimes there's some late weight shifts or some things. I know, obviously, like Kyrgios last week, saw that he was down to 126, and obviously that's shaking some things up there. There's just a lot of the question marks. Once they're in the bracket, they can't change weights, so that's the one thing we will be looking at. I hope brackets are released Wednesday, according to what it says on USA Bracketing. They may. I'm not going to jinx it, but might be a not too late of a night, but hopefully we can get that. Hopefully I really actually don't care about the brackets. I just care about the wrestlers, the wrestler list, because the brackets aren't going to be crazy. I mean, we could probably, we know where the better wrestlers are. There's no weights in any sectionals that are going to be like, wow, I hope this is seated this way. So, our top 10 guys make it out. No. So,
I'm telling you, you're not a big fan of the Big Red Machine, huh? I thought that was your time frame with Vargo. I think we did and we used to do back when it started, not in the last probably 10 years. I did one last year or 2 years ago with when Cook was at Hobart still. I picked the champions for the regional. I think I missed one.
Yeah.
I think my first Indiana match shirt I won it. I won the Calumet regional at the time. It was I think I got all of them except for one. So nice. I think for the most part, if you're in those areas, you're gonna see those matches a good amount.
Yeah.
You have a good idea. And anything could happen, but I think it's just one of those things that you're gonna have some guys that are potential state medalists that aren't going to be in the bracket, guys that are potential state medalists that are going to be moving a weight class, whether it's up or down, just to kind of find the right path for them. I thought the Kyrgios one, we talked about it last week. I think that's a really strong move for him. I think that puts him in the mix at 26 to win a title. And now, is that my pick to win a title? No, but I think he's in the mix for it. I think that's a good that's a wide open weight class. We were kind of off the air talking some semi-state underground talk and just talking about potential champs from certain semi-states. And there was a couple weight classes we could see that weight class playing out that way, but also you could wrestle it the next weekend. Yeah,
that's going to be kind of the storyline this week. We are locking the rankings. I don't know how many times rankings are locked after. Well, we might make some adjustments after we see there might be some late adjustments, so we might make some minor adjustments. But Saturday morning, locked rankings. We're going to run them, see how they do. I think it's. We do things a little bit different with the girls because it's a little more volatile there. But with the boys, we kind of just let them ride and see how they go, and it's kind of a little bit of a game, but it's also at this time it's you've made your resume for the year, and let's see how it stacks up. And if Mike does a pretty decent job at rankings, I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see how they stack up. I always like to compare the preseason rankings because those are almost more accurate than the end of the season rankings. So
and those can be more opinion also.
Yeah.
Because you're just maybe this or that. But yeah, I think I want to look at it for per round, not the sectional round, but once we get to the semi-state, how the semi-state would play out if we seeded it by, because when they usually bring the semi-state rank brackets come out that Saturday.
Yeah.
Or the Sunday the next day, not Saturday, Sunday the next day.
Yeah, Saturday or something. I mean, yeah.
So if, I would love to say, okay, if this was a true bracket, if they were hey, we're gonna go off of obviously head to head or state placement, this is what it would look like, and see how many of those guys would go there. How many if you did a true wrestleback or you had a true seeding, because I think the semi-state ticket round and the state quarterfinals are the two most unpredictable rounds in the tournament. They're my two favorite rounds because they're so unpredictable, but the rhyme or reason of how guys are matched up at the semi-state ticket round level, also the state quarterfinals, is like, who knows? It's just random. And it's like you do seeding at sectionals, you got 4s and 1s crossing at regionals. I think you have 1s across the board that feed into the bracket, but there's no like, well, one champ was the 1, this other champ's the 2, this guy was the 3, and 2 and 3 could hit,
Yeah.
And we were talking about some possible death draws off air that we'll probably start getting into next week, where you see some guys with medals that could be hitting up, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah. I'm definitely. I am going to do an article with the potential death draws. I hope I can get it this if the brackets come out when I want them to come out, when I'm planning on them to come out, I'll try to get those out this week, if not early next week. Maybe before regional. I think maybe do one or two a day in the beginning of the week next week. That way we can get have something cool to discuss of what the death draws are, where are we looking at those, and where's everyone looking, when the semi-state brackets are released, what are you looking for? I mean, there's always ones that, and having a cheat sheet of which weights and which semi-states to look for.
Well, I think I always said that'd be like a cool, and it would be a full show, but just get like a true reaction, like if you're whoever, I'm not going to say school, you're looking at your draw or your buddy's draw, like we're looking entire state, we're like, oh man, like you pull open, like obviously I'm based out of here in East Chicago, semi-state, but I look at like Evansville, I'm like, bro, that's a brutal draw. That's like, and like, you're, typical, I don't want to say typical, but your average fan, from the East Chicago semi-state might not even care about that. They're laser focused on what they have to do,
They're looking at their Portage draws or whoever, or that, like here, like I'll look for guys I know, what teams, in our sectional and stuff, like Carroll, Garrett, that and stuff, that they're going to be ones that are, Garrett's going to be looking at a possibly pushing for a semi-state title. They're going to have to depend on draws in 5 or 6 weight classes. If they get those draws where not only can they make it to state, but they can make the finals, then they're in good spots. But then if they get, pushed down or stuff, things like that, that's what I'll probably look at, but obviously probably the first one I'm looking at is Evansville, just to see what kind of ugliness is there. So that's kind of and we always talk about doing a live show, but it's never at a good time when those.
No, because on Sundays I have practice and you guys are out doing your thing, and it's and one, like some people might like care what we like react to, but like no one wants to hear like, oh man, like Tyjon got whoever in the ticket round, like they don't want to hear us saying that, like he's a fan, he's not gonna be like, man, like I had to give him. And Eric, dude, I'm using Eric because I know Eric's a straight shooter, man. We were talking team state breakdowns, and I did the breakdown with him with Center Grove and Brownsburg, and I did Center Grove first, and he's like, "What, bro? You don't got Tyjon beating?" I was like, "Nah, nope." He's like, "Nah, it'll be a tough one." And then we did Brownsburg and did the same thing. I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's tough, bro."
Not a good draw.
That was a tough weekend. Like he had Chef, Reynolds, and
Hornsby.
Yeah, that's about as tough as you can get.
And he's right. I mean, he's in the top 10, right?
Yep. I think he's 7. I mean, those guys are.
I thought he was 7th or 8th, and I'm like, man, what's the odds that you're going to run into 3 guys ranked higher? It's not even like he was upset. It's not like he got beat by the 10th over 7th kid, which that's not a bad, it's not like a crazy upset, but it's just like, oh geez.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure if those guys want to do it, but like obviously we'll talk about it and discuss it, and then there's probably someone in the bracket that could wreck it for us, right? Like we can talk about this tick around match, and then first round you get an upset.
Yeah, no, it's probably not good, because I know the kids are emotional roller coasters at that time also, and coaches are. They need a day to look at the brackets, breathe, and then figure out a game plan. I know we've had some kids that beat themselves up after losing a tough match at regional, and just the last thing they want to look at is the brackets and realize it's not any easier.
Well, I don't know like how many sectional draws. There's gonna be some sectional draws that are like that. Mm-hmm. Like I know at like Crown Point, like I've talked about 144, that Dalton, Robson, Newell, and Carter Hall, like one of those guys are gonna get a bad draw coming the other way. Like the top four there are gonna be really the top four coming out of the Crown Point regional could be the four that punched the ticket. And like the fifth best dude in that regional is probably at minimum a ticket rounder at the semi-state, and he's going to get left home at the regional.
Yeah.
I mean, and we talk about that at Mooresville. Like Mooresville is one of those ones where like Kellen Sheff got left home last year, and the top four from Mooresville at 106 all got medal, or three got medals, right? Or all four?
Yeah. Three got medals.
Yeah, three got medals, and then he goes out and dominates all summer. Yeah. So
yeah, that'll be.
And then you'll have other regionals where, someone will get a forfeit first round and be a semi-state qualifier. They get rankings credit, and then they get seating criteria, and their coaches argue for them.
Yeah, they get the forfeit, and then they get a profile.
Yeah. Can't believe you're not going to I can't believe that you ain't going to respect Tommy's semi-state qualifier. Bro, he got buys to the sectional finals, and they got to buy the first round of regional. Like, that's almost as bad as a participant.
Oh no! The best part is when that you get the emails that so and so, because the guy has a profile, he earned it. Profiles are earned,
bro.
And they're like, we beat so and so, and he has a profile. Yeah, yeah, you do.
Yeah, I think that and obviously, I'm probably, I don't know, maybe I don't make the profiles for everybody, but I know I do a lot of profiles.
Yeah.
I got 16 guys in the semi-state rankings at every weight. And I try to get it pretty hey, these are the guys in tiers. These are the guys I think that are for sure going to punch a ticket. These are the guys I think that will have an opportunity to. And these are the guys I think that'll be there. And we were talking one day, and I think Dustin's like, I'm going to go to 10. And I was like, I just went to 10. And I seen Dustin went to 12, so I went to 12. And I was like, honestly, I got 16, at least 16 in every weight class that I think are in the mix.
Yeah. No, that's I didn't create profiles until they're actually in you post them. So, but you had a few we had to create this week.
Yeah, I felt bad because you were sick, and I was like, well, Joe, you're gonna have some guys. You're gonna have to make some new profiles for them. Sorry.
Yeah, nah. You've been worse. At least they were. I think all but one was a senior. So, so it's the worst is when it's like these last two rankings, and this guy comes in at 10 or 11, and he's a senior, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna put him in for one ranking iteration.
But that might be the guy that gets through, and you're gonna, it's gonna mess up your totals.
Yeah. So no, that's it's as I said, they are earned. I will, as long as I can, continue that. I want to continue that that profiles are earned, and if you're in our rankings, you're pretty good, and you deserve a profile. So if you go to semi-state, you automatically get there because you're probably one of the guys we're looking at for next year for the semi-state rankings. So it's only semi-state if they are an underclassman. So if you are a senior and you don't have a profile and you make it a semi-state, we don't create a profile unless you make it a state. So
yeah, and I mean even then, if you're a state qualifier, you shouldn't even care about your ranking at that point. You're top 16.
Yeah. Usually everyone has a profile that makes it to state. We did have one. Who was it? It was Gray Wiley last year. Did not have a profile. So he got a profile the week of state. He made it to state. He got a profile. So, proved the rankers wrong, proved everybody wrong, made it to state. So that's if you don't have a profile, the other way, if you're a senior, go to state. Punch your ticket.
Yeah. So. I mean, I think the reason we like the sport and any of the rankers like the sport is because of the predictability of it. So, I don't know. when people like there's an upset and they're like, yeah, you didn't see that coming. I'm like, bro, I don't want to see it coming. I want to like watch like good wrestling and see upsets and things like that.
Yeah. So, what's special about the profiles? Not everyone has them. That's I guess that if I mean, that's the easiest thing. It's to highlight the best wrestlers in the state. And if you have a profile, we consider you one of the better wrestlers in the state, and you're on our watch list for rankings. And that's kind of the whole thing that we've done since we started doing the profiles. And I was when started the website 17 years ago, I thought it'd be cool. It was kind of I was like, we should have profiles. It'd be kind of cool to have their information. And it's great for recruiting for colleges. And I know a lot of people really take pride in their profiles. They change their profile pictures to and update it with all sorts of information, like their past results and everything. So it's there. I mean, if you go to Google and type in Evan Stanley, I believe I probably should add wrestling to it, because there are other things. His number one return is Indiana Matt. Then it's track wrestling, and then flow wrestling, and then his Instagram. So it is the Indiana Matt. Like, it is very good for those guys to get recognition and stuff. I think Stanley's profile has been viewed 5,600 times.
Very good. Let's see. Remember Chad Reds had been viewed at one point like a crazy amount.
Yeah. Let's see. I think his is number 1, if I'm not mistaken. Chad Red has been 33,000 times.
It's pretty good.
His profile. So even like you look up Nick Lee, wonder if Nick Lee wrestling. It's still the number 3 result, and that's over Wikipedia and GoPSU. So pretty good result there. Let's see what his profile has been viewed 20,000 times.
I wonder if like Jesse, because he's like so like, and obviously he's killing it right now. Had another great weekend.
Let's see.
Like Jesse, like, because I'm sure people are Googling that, like, oh, let's click this profile.
What is how many times has he been viewed? 26,000. So
pretty good.
When do high school teams have to submit their roster for sectional? They have to put their roster in like last week or something. They can make changes up until the seating meeting, I believe, is when they can. Yeah, Mendez is doing pretty good. He should, man. I'm very biased, but I think he should win Hodge.
Yeah,
because he has a weight class and he is just absolutely dominating people.
Man, and
Brock Hardy is the guy that has beaten him before, and he just made him number 3 right guy, and he just majors him like it's nothing.
And I think that he's like, his game has got better like every year. Like every year he's gotten better. And yeah. I think that's hard for like when you're that high of a level, like you see some plateau. I mean, like, and dude, I'm not like trashing like Iowa wrestling, but you see a guy like Drake Ayala, who's a multiple time NCAA runner up, and he's still got the same setup, same attacks. And then you see a guy like Jesse, who's like constantly improving. So,
yeah. Tejan's been viewed 2,700 times. So,
27.
Yeah. Have some kids on team needing to wrestle off. You better do that. Seating meetings are Wednesday, from everything I've. Well, I hope Coach understands when seating meetings are.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff that coaches are finding out this week. Maybe.
Oh yeah. There's seating meetings. You got to make sure you have the right enough weigh-ins, and it is interesting because on USA Bracketing, and if you look at under the events there's a weigh-in. There's a couple weigh-ins that are listed for today. So people are getting their last weigh-ins, hopefully, so they can get enough, weigh-ins. I know there's some. I know there's some wrestle offs. I talked to a coach the other day, said that they're still having a wrestle off because of kids come back from injury. I mean, there's injuries, making sure kids are ready to come back from those and things like that. So, lots of, last minute tidying up of things. So, yeah, but yeah, should be. I mean, we'll find out Wednesday once they're in the brackets. They can't move their weights or anything. They can substitute a backup guy. They can go into that weight or a weight above. So it's all, once they're locked into the bracket, they can't move, and they can move out or they can stay in. So that's all. Does it? Tony, I do not know how that works, but I guess you can try it. Let's see. I'll refresh. No, it doesn't look like it refreshes it. Still the same number.
Those are 27 individual views.
Yeah. Let me open up a incognito browser. Let's see if we can. We're gonna get Tejan into a. We're gonna get him into the 3,000s at least tonight. Nope, it still didn't update even here. Oh no! Oh, it's now 2,757. Here we go. Let's crash their website.
I'm telling you, 219 show, we can get it going. I don't know if we're gonna I've been talking to some people about doing it live. We've been talking about sending out some links. I think give a little bit of a little window. I mean, we gotta get some guests though.
Yeah, that'll be the job tomorrow. Try to line up some guests. Let's see how many this gets up to after the show. Let's get Tejan up to like 50,000. He's going viral.
It's like the Pro Bowl voting, the MLB voting. The year the Cubs got all the guys that were starters.
Yeah, his hair looks good in his profile, so it looks like he just woke up. He looks absolutely thrilled that he's getting his picture taken right before weigh-ins, as everyone does.
Oh yeah, I mean, I heard that the Stanleys had they said Stanley's had to switch out Evans one from the Mishawaka because they said his eyes were closed. He had him looking on high. They said we can't have that.
I did see a few people change theirs.
708. We go. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. We could do it Sunday because I will technically possibly be in the area on Sunday.
If you want to do like Sunday. Yeah, I could do I think we're done by 2:00. You want to do 3:00? We could do it.
We could just do it in-house. We could do it from the region.
Live from the region.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll talk to you later about some of our plans. But
yeah, I'm solo rider this weekend, man. Came up to Wisconsin with the girls, and we got to stay here with the boys.
Stay here and run practice with everybody else.
With the cats. Dude, you're getting on the 219 show either way. Either you're getting the link, we're gonna have it live, you're gonna be at my house, man. Whatever is happening. I've been pulling strings to make this happen.
He's gonna be camping out at your house starting Friday. You're Saturday after sectional. He's just coming right over. And now that he knows you're flying solo this weekend, he's just gonna sleep on the couch.
No, man, I keep talking to Bill about what we're gonna do from the new home of the Bears. Oh, you want to do it from the old side of the Majestic Star Casino, huh?
The Gary Bear, like the Gare Bear.
I know, man. I'm telling you, if we can get someone to do it live, I'll go there. I mean, all I gotta do is bring my laptop and my cameras here, my lights, my microphone.
Yeah, that's
my gorilla chain.
Your gorilla chain. You have to give that back to them, or is that for years?
No, he gave it to me. He didn't say anything.
Okay, nice.
Sports Cops tell me I can have it.
Nice. I'm gonna have to get the print for that so I can print my own. That's actually kind of cool. So, yeah. I guess we should talk a little bit about what happened last week.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's do it.
Carol Belmont came down to the last match. I think we were talking about that before last week. So, big one was Cathedral and
Oh yeah.
Roncalli.
I'm gonna go.
That had some pretty good matches in there. Hopefully the matches are in there. Yes. So we'll start where they started at 126. Getz over Jackson Lavin. As we said, Cullen Crowley is back. He lost to Gavin Kemp, but he's a pretty good wrestler. Just getting back from injury.
Just Anderson make him come to Lowell. We do it right here, right on the block, man. Beer skis. I went there. That wasn't you. I went there one time. So
yeah. So then at 106, Ethan Bayless over Carter Sanford. That's a good win for him. St. Laurent, he's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Tech Fald, Caleb Morrow. And then Jeremy Carver over Peyton Shutley, 7-0. That was first period. Carver had a slide by, go behind, really slick, and then had a claw ride and tilted Shutley for 4, and that was the match. It was pretty slick turn there. Shutley was standing up, and he kind of rolled through, and it's very, very. I mean, Shutley didn't know it was coming, and that's a great way being able to pull out a turn like that against a wrestler like Shutley at that level is that's going to that bust that opened that match and pretty much made it so that you couldn't really come back.
And I know that they streamed it, so we were able to watch it. Man, Shutley, and we've always talked Shutley's a dog, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good. And Carver's obviously really good too. Carver's mat awareness and his scrambling ability and just holding position is so good. Especially for obviously you say a freshman, but he's wrestled over 1,000 matches. But just there were some shots that Shutley was in, and his able to defend and not give up points was huge. And we were kind of talking off air, looking down the road, that could possibly be a matchup where those guys meet at the semi-state finals, semifinals, however it shakes out. And you run that one of those guys could hit Bell on Saturday morning in the quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously anything can happen, but I mean, I think that'd be a very interesting go.
Yeah. That's and we always talk about off the scale, especially in those first 2 or 3 weight classes, mm-hmm. where kids are pulling a little bit more. The last time you have to make weight, it's and you're also looking ahead to because it's second day. There's a lot of things going on, and it's not even any specific kids, but we've seen it where just they don't look right that next morning, and they're teenage kids. Sometimes they don't cut weight right. We've seen some crazy matches in that first round. Guys that we thought were pretty close to being unbeatable. And who was the Danville kid that got beat? Was it Neil Malloy?
Yeah. Well, that was a Friday night, right? Neil Malloy got beat by was it Rumpf?
Was it him? I thought there was a
there's always a ton of those matches are huge, and they're huge for I'm not trying to my boys from CP are in the comments here, but the year that CP had that meltdown, they had a terrible Saturday morning.
Yeah.
They people felt oh man, they had a bad Friday night. I think they only lost 2 matches Friday night, right? They lost Paul Clark, or maybe they lost 3 matches. That Saturday morning is where you're going to win your title, you're going to lose your title. Because you can, and the momentum kind of rolls, and I think that happened to those guys there, where you're going. And dude, it happened to Brownsburg last year, and the opposite direction. Those guys started rolling, and they started just winning matches.
Yeah, Malloy in 2012, after he won it as a sophomore, then lost to Luke Blanton of Alexandria, 9-6 on Friday morning. So I think that's the one. I just remember that one because I'd heard that he was way over after Friday night and did not manage his weight well. You know,
Well, I mean, think about some other
that's
matches.
that's one of the many that you can kind of see like, man, that was a crazy upset. And then after realizing that, hey, he didn't come off the scale well, and that was at 132, so it wasn't a lightweight.
Didn't Howe have a really crazy like quarterfinals match one year? That was in my younger run around the streets days, so I had to get there early. But there's always a ton of really good matches in that round.
Wagner would have been possibly 7-6 freshman year. After Walpole was OT.
Yeah, that was the one I'm thinking of. Walpole. I thought that was
semifinals.
Semifinals.
Yeah. So, yeah. Now that's anything can happen after. Man, looking at his tech fall. Michael Duckworth major 22-9.
Pretty good. And man, what's crazy? And obviously we're able to interact with, and there's people that are and people who's not. If you talk to that guy, he's the most unassuming guy. Like you would walk away and be like, that guy was really good. Like, yeah, that dude's a monster. He's probably the best guy in the gym. It's like that guy, the super nice guy that's like extra like humble. You're like, oh, didn't you like when it's when he's like yeah, something like that. Like, so, couldn't you have been an Olympian?
Yeah. Question for you or to ask him. Would he like the 3-point takedown or not? Because he tech fought everyone with takedowns and stuff, and he would have been on the mat for about 1/8 the amount of time if there's a 3-point takedown in his day.
I think that's a guy that likes wrestling, man.
Yeah, so he won like the 2-point takedown then.
Yeah, I think he was a machine.
Yeah,
he's probably still a machine, honestly. I don't think he's given up many takedowns at the How Wrestling Academy, right?
No. Like I'd like to. That's the crazy thing is I'd love to see those guys go back. I mean, Burroughs is still. I mean, he hasn't wrestled for a year or two, but he's still pretty darn active, and How's maybe just like a year or two older. So I'm sure he could go. Still a machine, yeah. I bet those hands are heavy,
dude.
anvil hands.
You go in there sometimes, and he's like super. The guy just. I think that's the difference between guys that'll make it and guys that'll struggle. Is like guys like Jesse, guys like Andrew. Those guys love wrestling. Like you look at them, like they love it. Like he's still competing with those guys, like the top guys. So
yeah. So back to last week. that took a turn.
Yeah. Back to what I was saying. Shetley, really, really good. Carver, really, really good.
Yeah. So they'll run it back possibly at semi-state. Let's see. Any other big duels? Rensselaer Central and Lowell. That was another duel with ranked teams.
Yeah. They said that Colby Robinson with the big fall there. Or Deshaun Thomas coming off a good NCC. I think he was winning pretty big, and Colby Robinson ended up getting a fall.
And then Avon and
man, hopefully in that duel with Lowell and Rensselaer, hopefully Orgel's okay. I got sent a video of him getting thrown. His knee looked like it got buckled up pretty good. So I think he injured defaulted out of the match, but it did not look good.
That's not good. I know Avon and Center Grove wrestled, but I do not have any results. So let's see what we have here in the single duel. There we go. Center Grove 48-23. That's any Nate Rio over Royce Malone 7-1. Mason Gels, Tech Fall, Xavier Flores. Chase Klein over Marcus Malone 5-2 in tiebreakers. Larson over Porterfield by pin. Breedlove bumped up to 190 over Nathan Moraska. And then that's pretty much it. So I will update that result so that we have updated website. But yeah, so nothing crazy there. 48-23. So easy, we can do that on the fly. That was a good one. Good to see those guys wrestling. And then had a bunch of conference tournaments. Some of them were. It's interesting. Some of them actually do have the dual meets now, so it's kind of different, I guess, than what you're used to. The Allen County Athletic Conference teams are not required to be in Allen County, so
that's how Lake County is too.
Yeah. So Adams Central won that. Northeast Corner Conference, the Railroaders won their 4th straight. Central Indiana Conference, I don't know who won that one. It was probably the Oak Hill Golden Eagles. So they're still pretty darn good.
The Golden Eagles of the United States?
Yes. The Southern Indiana Athletic Conference, they moved that to Friday because the Storms and Mater Dei scored in a 10-team conference, scored 359.5 points.
Man, they almost won every single weight.
Yeah, they won 12 weights, got 1 second and 1 sixth.
Man.
So they lost 4 matches.
What were they saying that the city of Evansville hasn't had a state qualifier in 2 years?
Yeah. So 2023, last time the city schools other than Mater Dei.
You gotta be careful. You can't turn into Gary. Gary Westside didn't have a qualifier in a couple of years.
Yeah. No, that's
we don't have that many schools in Gary anymore.
And it's I mean, I don't want to be Mr. Debbie Downer, but Fort Wayne City Schools didn't have I think last year, or is either last year or the year before, Fort Wayne City Schools didn't have a qualifier, and nor did any South Bend City Schools. So
we need to start like an Indiana Mat RBI program where we're rebuilding wrestling in our communities, in our cities.
Yeah. So that's
get Harvey Twisters. I don't know how the Harvey Twisters do it because, man, those dudes are coming. Harvey's a hood, bro. Harvey's a real hood.
Yeah. So.
Some of those dudes came up with some hard. So we need to just get a whole bunch of Twisters and bring them in Indiana and like start, put them in the inner cities and using the formula.
Yeah. Yes. Now that whatever they do, they're still turning out good wrestlers.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. For many, many years. Oh, Triple B's on the YouTube today. Whoa. So Northeast 8 Conference. Belmont won that over New Haven, East Noble. Summit Athletic Conference. Speaking of Fort Wayne City Schools, Dwenger won. Mid-Eastern Conference. I believe that was won by Eastern Hancock over Shenandoah and Cowan.
The Harvey Twisters are state funded. We're trying to get money to the Bears. Let's bring them in.
Yeah. So
we can send the pass real quick.
Yeah. The PAC Pocket Athletic Conference. Is that what it is? Yeah. Heritage Hills won. So congrats to them. That's the conference with 13 teams that they wrestle 86 duels.
Man, Heritage Hills got some records, boy.
Yes, they have lots of matches.
They're talking about that like early 2000s Griffith and get them 60s.
Yeah, I believe it will be the last Tri-Eastern Conference. Centerville won. So RIP to the Tri-Eastern Conference. I think a lot of teams are leaving the conference and joining others. I don't know if it's going to stay together, but if it is the last one, I hope it was a great one.
Was that the one that used to get the crazy like posts all the time? It'd have like
yes. Oh, it'd be a 20-page post, and it was pretty bad.
Pouring out for the homies, man.
Yeah. So Three Rivers Conference, Rochester won there, and so those are the big conferences. The Hoosier North Athletic Conference, that was last week. So missed that talk. So that's the recap from this week. Not a whole lot of I put out the brackets the significant matches from last week. Not a lot of crazy matches. There are only like 28 upsets, I believe. So, yeah, we said NECC. Come on, Nick, pay attention.
Got love for the NECC.
Yes, the neck, former 2-time NECC All Conference wrestler right here. So,
did you guys just do an individual like conference?
Yeah, we did that. There's the duels and the individual, so you get 2 trophies if you win both.
That's how I felt like we were like in the Lake Athletic Conference, which was a ton of teams. You had to wrestle them through the season, so you'd have Tuesdays and Thursday duels, and then you would have a day of super duels, like conference duels, and then the next week you do an individual.
Yeah,
you were very aware of who you were wrestling.
You were not strangers, were you?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, there's yes, not too many upsets. You can check out the article. All of them. The upsets are highlighted so that you can see them. So yeah, there should be some good matches coming up over the next couple weeks. Predictions for the
lower income schools. Like, what would be like a lower income school? Like,
yeah,
like I mean that's tough. Like we just talked about the inner city schools. Like, obviously, I think a lot of those are gonna be lower income schools.
Yeah.
I mean, some areas like are able to, do it. I don't think everyone's income in those communities are probably the same. It's not Carmel, right? Like,
yeah, Carmel's not the best team in the state, so, and that's one of the more well-off communities.
Well, I think there's probably some areas that, man, I don't know. I'm not trying to go like in the economics of this, but I think there's a lot of opportunities. I wouldn't say like Cedar Lake is like a well-off community. I don't think it's a lower income community. I mean, I have to look at what their median income is, but I wouldn't say it's over 110.
Yeah.
But I think that those guys do a really good job. I think Portage is probably an area that's got some rougher areas in Portage. And I think they do a good job. Maryville, like Coach Maldonado does a great job with those guys. I know there's areas of Maryville. It's hard for me to categorize. Like I lived in like the high school I went to was lower income. So like if in comparison to like we felt like other schools had everything, we didn't. We had a nice gym, but like if you went to Gary West Side, Griffin's doing a good job. I don't know, even that it makes me feel like, is Griffith like low income as like Calumet? Like that makes me feel sad, man.
Because you always think of Griffith as like high class,
dude. A little bit, kind of.
McDonald's is fancy,
dude. We didn't. Well, Calumet Township in Black Oak, we only had like individual restaurants. We didn't have any chains. We had a Lon John Silver's. I'm lying. We had one Lon John. And we had like a Taco Bell in the TA that I never met anyone that ever went to. But I mean, like it's tough. I think you just have to do it different, and like I think you're changing the goals, right? Like if you're at, I'll use Gary Westside as an example because I think Gary Westside is always one of those schools that it's just a tough community. But if you're at Gary Westside, you're probably not thinking about beating Brownsburg. You shouldn't be thinking about beating Browns, and not like right now in the next 10 years, right? But your goal should be what you can achieve. Like, can I get guys to semi-state? And they've been doing that. That's a success to me. East Chicago used to be monsters when we were kids, though. Like when I was like with the Maldonados, those teams, those were bangers, man. Like those Calumet East Chicago duels were really good. So Griffith, I don't put Griffith in that lower income area. I know that there's some tough areas of Portage. Like I know there's some there's a lot of Section 8 living over there. There's a little bit in Griffith and the Mansards, but yeah, Calumet's tough. Calumet's like North Gary and unincorporated. So I think Coach Hidalgo does a great job though. Like he obviously was at River Forest. I would say that they're probably on the lower end of income. Lake Station's probably lower end of income. You just got to find out what your direction is going to be and attack it, right? Especially class wrestling for the team state stuff. A lot of those are smaller schools.
Yeah, no, you can make reasonable goals for your team, and and sometimes the goal is beyond the wrestling mat, and that's what to be honest, that's what high school sports is about. Getting those kids some experience and getting them in good situations. The coach is there, and you've talked about Watkins a gazillion times. It was more than what it was is beyond wrestling what he taught you guys, and he was there for 30 years plus.
Yeah, he just retired last year. I think his first year was 89 or 88.
Yeah. So he was there 30 years, and it wasn't, he could have probably gone somewhere else. He 1000% could have gone somewhere else and had a lot more success, but he felt his calling was there, and he did a great job molding those guys and being that positive influence for those 4 years that you guys were there.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, you hit it on the head 100%. And there was a time where I was just like sending emails to the IHSWCA because he wasn't in the Hall of Fame. And I think credentials wise, like he's coached champs, he's coached medalists, he's had a lot of guys qualify for state. He's won a ton of sectionals, conference championships, some regionals. But the impact in that community, not me, my dad's active in my life, my mom's active in my life. I had a lot of teammates, and I've known a lot of people that went through that didn't have that. Mm-hmm. And that guy becomes and that's tough, man. I'm talking to other coaches about that, and I'm not going to put them on blast, but just some of the issues that they're dealing with, and keeping kids eligible, keeping kids from the street, right? You're essentially dealing with different problems, the problems at a Gary Westside, Calumet, is some of those kids got to work, dude. I saw a parent one of our softball girls, and they were going to a wrestling meet, and they're like, we don't and they were at Lake Station, and she said we are so thankful for our family. They're from out east, and we went here, and this kid had to bring his sister to the wrestling meet with them because his parents had to work so he could wrestle. And I don't know how many teams are actually dealing with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, there's all sorts of different struggles at every school. Even, I went from Garrett to Carroll, and Carroll, there are some other things that are going on with Carroll. There's a lot more going on. There's different struggles that you have as a coach. And it's, to be honest, certain coaches might have success at certain schools, and they might be similar demographics. They might not be similar demographics, but sometimes it's those little struggles. I mean, Coach Tante had great success at Perry Meridian, Warren Central, and now at Franklin. But at the same time, I think there were times at Warren, I think he struggled a little bit with kind of having the success he was used to having. And, that's one example, but there's a lot of times when that coach that was good at this school might not be good at another one, just because the struggles are different. And while they can coach the wrestling, it's those, juggling that kind of stuff that's going on, that's keeping kids from coming out. And there's other things that, I could go into a lot finer details with the differences between Carroll and Garrett that people would probably, it might be boring. Some people might be kind of interesting, but it's something that's kind of interesting in that they are literally, their school districts butt up against each other. They're very different, but they're very, but they both have struggles. They're both, the struggle comes from something different, and it's not any easier at either school.
Yeah. I think, a guy like Ed Pendaski, I'm happy to see him at Warren Central. I know Ed from the Portage days where it was a little bit more rough around the edges, and he was dealing with different stuff at Carmel. I'm not so I don't want to minimize lower income problems into bigger income problems. If you're a kid, everything feels like it's a problem. I'm not minimizing anybody's feelings like that. I have a very unique perspective in the sense that my parents had me when they were incredibly young. we moved from Gary to Illinois. We lived in a bad area in Illinois. And then we moved to a really nice area in Illinois where we lived from when I was in kindergarten to seventh grade. We lived in Batavia. It was super nice. Like everyone was very like driven, like low crime. It was crazy. Like, and then my parents were like, "Hey, we're gonna move to Indiana," and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." I thought it was country. Like I thought we were going cornfields, fishing, and hunting. And I moved to Gary, and it was just a different perspective. So like the things that were problems to the kids in Illinois weren't man, because you got to get them clicks. Wasn't the problem that the kids in Gary were dealing with. And I remember when I was a eighth grader or a freshman, there was a kid that said he was dropping out. I tell the story all the time to our girls. Like I had a kid, he's like, "Oh, I'm dropping out tomorrow. I'm turning 16." We might have been freshmen. And I was like, "Oh, for real?" He's like, "I got a job. I'm going to be changing tires for $10 an hour." I'm like, "Bro, I want to get $10 an hour too." I want to tell my dad, I was like, "Why am I going to school, bro? I can make $10 an hour." And he told me I was an idiot. So, but like, it's a different like thing. Like, I think if you just gotta find the excitement in your community.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If you're a coach, and I know coaches are, if you dread going to practice, your kids are gonna dread going to practice. Mm-hmm. If you don't like make it feel like something different, like you can manage them the best you can, right? You can say, "Hey, like we can get there early." You can manage their time out where they're not out doing craziness. Like, yeah. But you also have to, like, you have to have the buy-in from the community. And the reason I think Jim Watkins had a lot of success at Calumet, and it tailed a little bit at the end. Like, it's tough. Like, dude, that man has a family. Like, he was raising other people's kids, but he also had a family of his own. Mm-hmm. Is that like the community of Calumet? A lot of those guys come back. It's like a recycle community. Like, we were a family that was from Gary that came back to Gary. Like, there's a lot of families that just stay in that same cycle. So, like, what they would tell you is, "Oh, that's Coach Watkins. Like, that dude, you listen to him, he knows what he's doing." When Trevino was there, "Oh, you know Trevino, like, that's the baddest dude. You better listen to him." And I think that becomes like, you want those type of things. And I hope Hidalgo has the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, but, you know, part of that too is like some of those coaches that are going from a middle, like, I mean, the same thing with like class wrestling, or I know people don't like to hear that. And they're like, "Well, you know, we have one class." Like, cool, man, you're watching the 4A state finals dang near every year.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting a lot. Like the Weavers are far and few. Like every other kid is at a 4A school or trying to be at a 4A school. Mm-hmm. Like it just is. If you had a kid that was kind of maybe at a 2A, like a kid that was at Tri-West, I don't know how big they are, but I don't think they're a 4A. Guess where he's going to probably end up at? Brownsburg, right? Yeah. If you have a kid that was at West Central, that's a 1A school, guess where he's going to end up at? Probably Crown Point. Like, like it just is. And that's not me being disrespectful to their journeys, but like we're watching the 4A state finals every year. Mm-hmm. Like, and I think that's why it's cool that they're doing the 1A, 2A state. And I think people kind of are like, "How many states do we need?" I'm like, well, that's their state. Like, that's cool for them. Yeah. I appreciate that they're doing that. I didn't know I went to a small school until I was out of school. Like, people would say, "Oh, you guys were pretty tough for a small school." I was like, "What are you talking about? How many kids did you guys have?"
Yeah, no, it's the one thing that the one thing I always would get jealous of is like the small communities. They will embrace programs when they're successful. And I know, like Garrett, I unfortunately I followed way too much of their stuff, and they get the fire trucks when they win things and stuff. And when we won at Carroll, you got a pat on the back, roll up the math, guys, let's go. We got the AD gave you a pat on the back, said, "Good job. We got a basketball game, so get this crap cleaned up."
And then that's what we asked the teams to help.
Yes. We weren't even asking the teams for help. We weren't even, that would have been actually kind of fun to win sectional and say, "Hey, all you teams that we beat, roll up our mats." And that's one of the things that kind of, coming from Garrett, where I knew, when the fire trucks led you into town, there was a big deal. And it's like, we don't even do that. We don't do that here. And even at Carroll, which really made me mad. It actually made a lot of kids. They used to do like where you'd walk through the school before state with all the state qualifiers. And I remember the one year there was a delay and they didn't do it. And the kids were really mad because they wanted to, do the parade of champion thing, whatever. And then a couple years later, they stopped it. You had to be a state champion or runner up to get a parade of champions in the school because they were doing it so much. They were like, we're wasting too much class time, whatever. And so then it's kind of just like, there's very little, I guess there's a little bit less school pride at a school like Carroll because they have state placers and state champions and things like that are so much in sectional and regional. I mean, they win a lot. They're obviously very good at a lot of sports. So it's not just wrestling. It's baseball, football, softball, basketball, whatever. So they don't get to do it. So it's kind of frustrating, it's like we should, especially for a sport like wrestling, that is a niche sport, that is a smaller sport. It's always, it's good for them to get that recognition. It's good for that sport to see those, man. Oh, I mean, we have a good wrestling team. Maybe we should go watch their matches, things like that, that it irritates me a little bit. That's why, I did miss some of the things that Garrett, that like they do, that the community gets behind, the fire trucks. And we see it like, especially a lot of the other small schools, you'll see the parade of champions and stuff. That's one of the coolest things, got to see it a few weeks ago for girls, their parade of champions and stuff through the schools. And it's always cool for them, but I always get a little bit upset because Carroll stopped doing that.
So. Yeah. But like, if you make it big, like, was it Derek that had said it before? Like when they were talking about dual meets, I think it was Derek. And if it's not Derek, then like Derek's gonna get credit for it either way. Snyder. Like if you make those big, like kids are gonna think that they're big events. Like, and then like be proud of your successes.
Yeah.
Like I think we often dwell too much on the failures. Like be proud of what you do well. Everyone's gonna lose. Like everyone's gonna no one like ends their career on a dub. Like no one's like, I guess Khabib Nurmagomedov maybe, like, right? But like even Cael Sanderson, like his final matches were losses, right? Like everyone's gonna like be done. Like just, I always said like, there was this kid, he was like bullying. He was wrestling Sarah Hildebrand. I'm not gonna say the kid, but he was wrestling Sarah. He was kind of bullying her at the Harvest one year, and like run her off the mat and stuff, and just kind of being a jerk. And I remember like thinking like, bro, you don't have to be like that. Like if you win with class, like you don't have to be a punk about it. And then the next match, he wrestles Stefan, and dude, Stefan blows him out of the water. And it's like there's levels to it, right?
Yeah.
But did Stefan could he have gone out there and done whatever he wanted? 1,000%. But I always say we have like incredible role models. We get to see 4 years of Jesse Mendez.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see Jesse act like a punk? Did you ever see Jesse like not talk to a kid after a match? Like, dude, he's giving away his headgear at the NCAAs. Like he just has, like, he understands it. We have like really good role models in the community like that. Like Nick Lee, like those guys do a great job of representing the sport. But like, I just think that like sometimes we just, there's always someone that's better than what you think you are, right? There's always someone that's a little bit tougher, and that's across the board. Like maybe if you're like John Jones is pretty tough, but like other than beneath John Jones, maybe like if you're just in Indiana right now, it's, there's always some guy that's a little bit ahead of you. So
yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I don't know. It's we did not expect to talk about this tonight for sure, but it's always I like these kind of things. So, yeah, definitely, that's kind of interesting. You're right. You're too bad he probably never realized he's wrestling two people that were the best in the world.
Best in the world.
Yeah. All right. Just like Hayden Lee wrestled Kayla and Micic in the same state finals. Only one to wrestle two Olympians. So
pretty good. I think that's like one of the things too. I don't know how you fix it. Like, how do you fix like an inner city thing? You got to find someone with passion that's gonna like be able to that has a little bit of psychology and understands like the community. The biggest part is going to be understand your community.
Yes. You got to understand what you're working with there, and you got to have someone probably fairly young that can relate to the kids, someone that's had probably similar experiences, and someone that's in there for the long run. It's not something that you can do that they, take over one of those schools and expect. I mean, if you're expecting that as your starter job, or you're going to use that to jump to another school, and then and that, good for them. That's not. I mean, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. That, if you can't do that, do it. But at the same time, those programs need stability more than anything. And I think, and I even look back to some of the times when like Fort Wayne community schools were the strongest, and you looked at all their head coaches and they'd been there for a long time. They were guys that have put in the time. They, and it's like, yeah, those guys were there for 10, 15 years, and they kept, that consistency is what was needed. And now if you look at some of the schools, they've had a high turnover in coaches because it's not easy. It's not it's not like wrestling coaches. I mean, it's not easy at any school, but then you had to, the school isn't doing very well. They don't have any jobs in the building. It's not easy to find someone that can get off work at 3:00 and go coach some kids, teenage kids for fun. It's because you aren't getting paid a lot. So
yeah, you're not doing it for the money, right?
Nah. And and you lose a lot of time with your family. I mean, that's one things I don't miss about coaching is that I get to come home at 5:00 every night, and if there's something going on with my kids, I can go to it. I don't have to go coach someone else's kid, be with someone else's kids. So that's one thing I don't miss. I don't miss off-season stuff. I don't have to say, well, geez, I can't go see my son's baseball game because, towards the end, I was making that choice. Do I go to this event, or do I go coach some off-season wrestling? And at the same time, it's easier if it's my kid. So,
and I know, like, when you were like starting to leave coaching, that was like something that we had talked about too. It was like, hey man, like, you're gonna have a lot more free time and it's gonna be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be around your family, your kids were getting older at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, you need something like, because and this, like I said, like, I don't want to say just like this is only inner city or this is only like low income areas, because there's kids that are at like high income areas that are struggling with things too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think that's
it's that there are things that you have to overcome no matter what at any school. I mean, like from Garrett to Carroll, definitely different income levels, but also there were different issues that came up that you had to deal with. Maybe kids that could go on vacation during the middle of the season and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to Florida for a week, so I guess we can't wrestle with Al Smith. Like, I never had to worry about that at Garrett. I'll say that much.
We didn't worry about that at Calumet either. Six Flags wasn't open during the summer winters. I don't even know where guys are going.
But yeah, that's the struggles that I wasn't ready for is like trying to like, no, you probably should stay around because we have events and you probably should be doing that. Didn't have to worry about that. Maybe at Garrett you had to worry about kids getting to practice, but then that would have been, that's an easy fix. Is like, hey, don't you live by him? Yeah, go pick him up.
Yeah, I think money helps, but like, man, I don't know what do you think are like the most wealthy schools in Indiana? And I don't know if they'll be like the top. Like,
no, I mean, you could probably go. I'm sure there's some studies. Money helps. Money's not going to hurt anything, but it still doesn't make everything. I'll use a quote from Mr. Oberlin, and because I told him to put this on their shirts. He would call some of his kids the cul-de-sac kids because when you grow up in the cul-de-sac, the nice additions, it's a little bit different because you're not used to the struggle that you would have. The I mean, I'll just say like kids that are in lower income places, like I mean, you fought your whole life. That's it's natural for you to fight. It's natural for you to do that kind of stuff. So it's not it's nothing new to struggle. Nothing, have a setback and come back. The cul-de-sac kids have a little bit different lives. They're if it doesn't work out the first time, they just go do something else because they have a lot of different options. Maybe the other kids don't. So it's hard to explain without being in that area. So
and man, I'm not like trying to like put anybody on blast or say anyone's right or wrong. But you see private schools like Andran, and I know how much it costs for my kids to go there. And their wrestling team, they have some solid kids, but they're not killing.
Yeah.
Like you see teams, I mean, there's private schools in Fort Wayne, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they killing it?
No.
No. There's private schools in South Bend. Are they killing it? No. Like, and they have, dude, I bet there's alumni. I know at least one alumni at Andran that's like, dude, I'll pay whatever they want to have someone come in.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's layered, right? Like it's not only with the money, but you have to have the feeder system. You have to have, we talked about it a little bit on air. They were talking about how to like rebuild an Andran program. Mm-hmm. And I think like for a program like that, you need like some type of feeder, whether it's a club or whatever it's going to be. Like if you put a school in your school, who knows, but you need it like a CCYL, right? Mm-hmm. Like a Catholic league school.
CYO. Yeah.
Yeah. You need something like that. I think that like, that's the hard part. But again, like change your goalposts.
Yeah.
If you're one of those schools, like you're not like, I always say about Calumet, and I'm only talking from my own personal experience and seeing it with my own eyes. Like that's a starter community. There was a lot of good wrestlers that started in that community that left because this is where they could buy their first house. This isn't their last house.
Mm-hmm.
I would say myself included. Like and I didn't buy a house in the township, but like if that was a starter house, that wasn't my finishing home. Mm-hmm. And I love that community as much as anybody, but that's just the way it is. So like your goal should be to get kids to wrestle, which is hard.
Yeah, not an easy thing.
And it's a lot harder in the climate we're in now. And this isn't like, this is going off on another tangent. I know like we got a top 5 to do and all this stuff, but like it's harder for those teams that run clubs now because it's easier to be a coach just to say, hey, go to the school.
Yeah.
And those kids probably don't have that income to go to the school. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, like go let Alex and Jason train you, or Andrew and John, or Kevin train you, or whoever else in the area train you. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take my summers off too. And that used to be the easier way to do it. Like that's the easy way to do it. Like those guys really can't do that, right? Like how do you keep kids out? Because what's happening now when you do that is those kids are meeting friends and then they're not ending up in your school district anymore. And the best teams read like college rosters. Like whether people like to say it or not, they're like, oh man, like there's not recruiting happening. That's bullshit. And I don't cuss a lot, but I got 100 texts on my phone that tell you that you're a liar if you're telling me people don't recruit. And then 2, like you're not telling me that the top teams like that are wrestling for a state title every year don't have kids that have been at different schools that read, like you could put their hometown on their profile. Like, I think that's one of those things. Like if you're at an inner city school or a club school and your kid gets really good, there's a good chance. If you were a really good Harvey Twister back in the day, you probably wrestled at Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
Not Rich Easter, wherever you're at.
Yeah, no, that's the key. It's getting those kids out, and we've talked about it before about some of the elite clubs are great for the elite kids, but then we're also losing some of the local clubs where your beginners get to know the sport and get into the sport, and I mean it's since a lot of those elite level clubs. I'm not just saying the elite club. So Kevin knows, but
shout out to my boys though, got me this gorilla chain.
yes. So but you've seen a little bit of the depth, the depth isn't as deep in the region as it used to be. It used to be a lot more, and then obviously we do have some kids going over to Mount Carmel and stuff, but it's one of those things that you're losing that beginner club, and I'll take this on another one because since my kid does wrestle, he tolerates wrestling. He's more of a baseball kid, but it's one of those things that one thing I don't like about wrestling is we're not doing a good enough job for the younger kids, for the beginners to fall in love with the sport, because it's go to these tournaments. And it's like, no, don't go to these tournaments right away because it's not fun. It's not, I just think of like baseball where you have T-ball. It's all fun. Everyone wins. Everyone gets a hit, and we don't have that kind of dumbed down version of the sport at those levels for the kids to get better and grow and learn the sport. Like even baseball, you have travel, or you have like rec, or you have different levels that you can play. Wrestling doesn't have as much of that. They have some friendly things. We actually did one at DeKalb a couple of weeks ago and loved it. We were in and out in an hour and a half, got 4 good matches, and no pressure. Don't even care if you get a ribbon or a trophy. Got 4 decent matches, got out of there, grabbed some dinner, and I was home by 7:00. I'll do that. I'll do that once a week for 5 weeks and call it a season, because my kid will get a lot more out of it, and I'll be home on the weekends.
Yeah, and on top of that, honestly, there's some more. I have some thoughts on that too. We're such a meathead society community. Us wrestling community is meatheads, that you're in there trying to make like 8-year-old kids have the hardest practices of their life. On the line, we're doing sprints. Like, cool, man. Like, yeah, that's gonna work for some people. That's gonna run a lot of people off.
Yeah,
I don't even look back at like kids that I wrestled with. I'm like, why did we run those kids off? We probably could have used them.
Yeah.
Calumet used to do like a small elementary school program where you would wrestle an individual tournament, and then the next week you would wrestle with your, like, there used to be 4 elementary schools that fed Calumet. But and I thought that worked out for them well. But like, dude, I remember taking my youngest brother didn't wrestle. Like, I took him to a practice, and I remember like he had asthma, and I'm just watching him to like just push harder, and I'm thinking like, why? He's 8. Like, he's 8. Like, why does he need to be in the best shape as an 8-year-old?
Yeah.
Like, I could run all day when I was 8 years old. I wasn't even smoking Marlboro Reds yet.
Yeah.
No, we lived in Illinois then. I didn't start hitting Marlboro Reds until I moved to Indiana.
It's an Indiana thing.
But no, I just think that like there's a lot of that too.
Yeah. No,
there's a lot of like the elitism of this is wrestling and you don't belong here, and if you're not tough, and it's like, bro, like, how about like, yeah, make them enjoy it first.
Yeah. A couple of things that you kind of, and something Nick said also, there are some beginner tournaments. My son, we went to one last year. One person gave him a little bit of a, like, he's a beginner. I go, well, if you see him wrestle, he's a beginner. So, but I did see last year, I will say that there was Adam Central had a beginners tournament, beginners and an open tournament. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was very close to actually going. And I was like, oh, I'm going to see who won that my son's weight class. Kid ran through the weight class for beginners. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe, it's a beginner weight class. Maybe but then he also ran through the open weight class. And that irritated me more than anything. And I kind of wish I'd have been there. And it's like, what's the kid doing? And I think he ended up being a state placer the year before. I'm like, why are you wrestling in the beginners division? And that's really something that is bad. Why is this kid that plays at ISWA State wrestling in a beginners division at a tournament, other than to get a fake medal to make his dad think that he's good?
But if they gave him a shield, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
No, but like, how do you vet that? Like, how do you Like, dude, I see it in softball all the time.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
there's no like there at some of the tournaments you have to like submit an application to be accepted into it. Like they're like, okay, you can play, these guys can't play. But we've been in like non-sanctioned tournaments, and like you're playing teams of like girls that like don't know how to play, they're gonna get hurt.
yeah,
And you're like, and I'm not, other than that, like, how do you vet like, hey man, that guy probably shouldn't be out here.
yeah.
Like I think we talked about it before, and I know they do it in some softball tournaments, and I think there's some wrestling tournaments that do it also. Throw everyone in a pile. When you go to your pool, gold, silver, bronze. Like then you're wrestling people that are at your level.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the Trikoff on the Trikoff show.
Yeah,
like,
Trikoff does that.
If you're at the gold level, then wrestle the gold people. If you have, but like who's checking that though?
Yeah,
like because I know I've been to some beginner tournaments too, where I know like, bro, like that kid's been wrestling his whole life. Why is he in the beginner tournament?
I mean, I just saw a video. My son had wrestled 6 years ago. Is he not? I mean, but I also know that he probably belongs at that beginner tournament. You know, that's the thing. It's like one of those, it's 2 years or less. But if he was a state placer, the kid literally was a state placer. I looked it up. He shouldn't be wrestling in a beginner's tournament just because it's 2 years or less. If he went and placed at ISWA state as a first year kid, then he doesn't need to be wrestling in a beginner's tournament. I don't know how many years the kid wrestled. I'm not gonna maybe go back and look, but at the same time, it's one of those things that say in 2 years or less, that's a general rule. But I mean, what do you consider wrestling for 2 years though?
But there was a tournament my nephew signed up for. He had just started. It might have been like his second tournament, man. Honestly, this is not. I'm not lying. This is an exaggeration. I think it's on Flow Wrestling. We'll look it up. He signed up for the King of the Ring, the English as Elite tournament, the beginners division, and then there was like the not beginners division. And they didn't get enough wrestlers to have the beginners division. I think they're like, hey, what if you went with the regulars? I think he drew Hook's kid too. Carver, St. Lawrence, this kid from Michigan. It's like, bro, like, and then he's like, I suck. I'm like, I don't know. Those guys look like they're pretty good. They know what they're doing.
John, that's a really shitty comment. I'll call you out on that one, because if you're going to go enter beginner tournaments when your kid's not a beginner, don't get those matches. What's a match against a beginner going to do for your kid? That just patting your own back that think that your kid's good. I'll call you out on that, because that's bullshit. And I don't cuss very much either. So you could go enter a beginner tournament because you want to pad some fake stats that you have about a middle school, elementary kid.
We talk about this a lot.
I mean, you're what's bad for the sport if you're doing it for that. And the dad who entered their kid in the beginner tournament that was an ISWA state placer that ran through the beginner kids and through the open kids, that's bad for the sport. And you can come tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm not.
We can we talk about this a lot with the girls softball. No one cares what you do when you're a kid, when you're going through your recruiting process.
Yeah.
There's no one that when we talk to coaches that are asking about kids in our state, they're never like, hey, what do you do in 10U ISWA? And you see kids that are winning 10U ISWA that ain't winning high school state titles.
Yeah.
So I think that the kid mat time thing, it's debatable, right?
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of kids that weren't great when they were kids that end up being really good. There's the list of kids that were man, that kid was pretty solid as a kid. What happened? Dude, we have so many people. If you got to see our spreadsheet of people that were even good when they were freshmen, that were ISWA medalists that never got in the lineup or quit or got injured and pulled out, it's huge. So I think just keep getting better. But if there's a beginner tournament, let the beginners wrestle, right?
Yeah, go wrestle beginners. And if you're not sure if your kid's a beginner, ask your coach. Should we go to a beginners tournament? Are we too good? Are we not good enough for this beginners tournament? That's the thing. I mean, one of Rocco's friends decided to wrestle this year, and I was like, is he interested in matches? And the dad was like, he kind of maybe is, maybe isn't. He's like, I'm not sure. I go, well, if we find kind of if I see a match like that DeKalb thing, if I see something like that that's open and you guys are available, I'll definitely, forward it your way because that'd be the best thing for him. I don't think going to a regular tournament is what's going to be good for you to. Your first baptism by fire is 6 hours in the gym, getting 3 matches and not having fun and getting pinned and 2 of them in the first minute and hopefully getting maybe getting a win here or there. But it's one of those things that wrestling is such a hard sport.
Then your kid has to hear about the whole way home how you spent the hotel room and your feet on 30 seconds of wrestling.
Yeah,
Belinda's right. I think that's like the truest statement. Like, just keep grinding. Like, you'll beat a lot of kids just by showing up.
Yeah,
show up every day. Put the work in every day. You'll find kids that'll fade.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, I love talking youth athletics and just mainly because I have a kid and I'm trying to juggle. You want to keep them interested, but you want to push them, but you don't want to push them too much. You want to keep them interested. You want to keep them in multiple sports. At least that's what I want to do with mine and stuff like that. So, and Carver, I'd love to. I mean, it's what you've done with your son. Is not the biggest thing I will say in youth things is look at what others do, but that's not always the path to success. Obviously Aiden / Jeremy's had a ton of success, but if I did that with my son, it might not end up the same. It might not, but at the same time, we talked about this. Last year, a father and soon to be grandfather. I think he is a grandfather now, but he was talking about how he had a plan. I mean, he literally said, "You're going to start wrestling at this age. And his whole thing was match count, which we can get on that stuff, but it was like, have this many matches this year, this many matches, and build it up and stuff. And it's like, it was up to over 100 matches a year. And I'm like, and I think you made the comment, like, did Stefan Micic have 100 matches a year? Did Nick Lee have 100 matches a year? And I think then you even add like, did Jesse Mandez, did Mason Paris, and then we ended up kind of putting it together of like probably the top 6-8 guys in the past few years, and there's pretty much split. Like, I mean, the whole thing was 100 matches a year, and it was like 4 and 4 or 5 and 5 or whatever. It's like these guys are some of the guys that had the most success, world level, NCAA level. Half of them did, half of them didn't. The path to the top of the mountain isn't always the same.
Yeah, I think that like before I forget, man, I see that like beginner, average, good, excellent on kids wrestling thing, and it's interesting because everyone around Cali is excellent. Shout out to their staff for believing in their guys. But man, I see it, and this is like one of those things I was like, man, that would hurt my feelings, honestly. Like if you're excellent, great, and your coach put everyone excellent, love it, right? If you're good, cool, man, your coach believes in you. You're a beginner, you're beginning. He puts you average, that kind of hurts, right? Like they shouldn't even have that, right? Like, why do you have that? Like that's like basically saying, hey, you're not like starting, but you're not good enough to be good. Like, dang, bro. Like I seen those and I was like, man, what a savage. I think that would hurt my feelings more than being a beginner.
I'm glad I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Because no, you won't get it from the kid. You know who you get it from is the damn parent.
Dude, I don't even think but I don't think you have to do it, right? Like there's a lot of people that don't have it in there. I think the coaches, I think they're just
the savage coaches. It's just the savage coaches.
Yeah, I think everyone's path is different, and like Carver taking a unique path. Like he's wrestled a ton, but like, and I'm not saying this because his dad's in here. Generally, I think that's a kid that likes to wrestle.
Yeah.
And I think that if you like to wrestle and that's what you do, like, I'm not going to tell you to not wrestle if that's what you like to do. Yeah. And when I watch that kid out there, he looks like he's having a good time.
Yeah.
Now, there's other kids, you can go to a meet and you'll see like that kid looks like he has somewhere he'd rather be. Yeah. That's not Carver.
He'd rather be at baseball practice.
Right. And I would say that about anything. Like, anyone that's doing something now, if you're eating a lot of, sweets, like maybe pump the brakes, but like, but overall, like if you enjoy doing it, do it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in burnout and doing things that you like.
No.
I believe in burnout as like the pressure and like the grind of it. Like
Yeah.
wrestling is burnout because you're telling kids they have to cut weight at young age. Like you're telling a kid that's growing that he has to weigh 80 pounds to wrestle a tournament. And he's running it with sweats. Like, dude, that's gonna, bro. I just thinking about that makes me actually like get burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, there's burnouts when you lose the love for your sport or whatever. It's not it's just I don't know. The one thing that I will ever stress, if anyone, understand what others do, but you don't always have to do it. We got talked into the travel baseball thing. I wasn't sure how that would go. My son loved it, and he wants to do it again, and he wants to do extra training and stuff. Guess what? He doesn't have to do that in wrestling. He doesn't shed a tear when I say, "Hey, you know what? We're going to do something else instead of go to wrestling practice." I mean, does he? But at the same time, it's it's something he does because he knows he has to do it because there's nothing else to do in the winter. So that's why I like wrestling. That's why they're totally separate. But it's one of those things that it is a very, especially I'm going through the uniqueness of a sport that he really, really loves and the sport that he tolerates.
Yes and no. I think the John Hook, yes and no. I think parents burn out, but I think kids burn out. I've talked to a lot of kids that are done with it at the end. Dude, you coach high school. How many of those kids, when they make that last time making weight, they're done?
Oh yeah,
they're like, "This is, dude." I know 1,000 kids, and not one of their parents told me, "Hey, my kid's done." It's like, bro, I can't do this no more. I can't cut weight anymore. Yeah, dude. Shout out to Little D, bro. Went out there doing work, man. Yeah, trains all year round, dude. Killing it, having a monster year so far.
Yeah, no, that's I'll say that wrestling is you got to sell the parent. I think, I don't know, maybe you meant some kids do burn out. Everyone burns out. Parents burn out too. You got to sell the parents on the sport to start the sport. I think the kids really like to wrestle more than parents like to take. I mean, you got one of the other things, if you want to get on another gripe of the sport of wrestling, is our events are horrible. And if you can't sell the parents on going to the events, they're not going to take their kids to the events. I mean, I don't want to sit in a gym for 6 to 8 hours for my son to wrestle. I love wrestling. I don't think people, if you don't realize I love wrestling, but I don't want to do that. I love, like I said, I love that DeKalb thing. We were out in an hour and a half. We got 4 matches and we're done.
That's where people are messing up, man. It's not, you got to go find like that crew, man. We've had some great parents, like maybe that's just high school crews that like to like hang out and party and have a good time. Dude, and I'm throwing him under the bus, but he's great now. He wasn't great then. I remember Hector told me, it was Hector and Elaine Lemley, now Escobedo, told me that Sergio was really bad one year. And like, but she was just part of that crew that was all hanging out. They said that she asked Hector, like Sergio went 0-2, like got pinned in like 15 seconds each. She's like, "Hey, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Should I not come here anymore?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't be here." He's not. And bro, that's the guy that was number 1 in the country at one point. Like, and he got really good, man. Like,
yeah,
it's get good at your own pace, but like also like find a good group of people to be with.
Yeah,
like that crew was that was a good crew.
Yeah,
like,
that's awesome. Yeah, Rick, it was, I don't know what they called it, like a friendly. There were 4 clubs there, and they paired them up by weight, ran it. I mean, kids were roughing it. They ran it pretty smoothly. You stay mat. They had about 30 matches on each mat and got in and out. It was $5 to get in, $5 for the entry, $10, and I'm in and out of there. Heck, I'm not gonna. I love it,
better, bro.
I mean, and that's
concession stands.
Yeah,
make stands better.
Yeah, no, that was a good event. But yeah, I would, as Carver said, that reminds me of I think you were at when we had the photo shoot for the magazine the one year, and LeCount and Michich and Jeelan were there, and we were talking. I asked LeCount's dad, I go, "So how much do you think you've spent on wrestling, like training, events, travel, all that? He's like, I don't even want to think about it.
Dude, same. I think and OC had a pretty good scholarship, like number wise. And I remember looking at it and I was like, is that for like the whole 4 years? Is that just for 1 year? Because I definitely paid more than that in the last 10 years.
Yeah. You didn't give her an invoice? I got a building invoice for Rocco.
She pays her own college now, but yeah. Like she pays it out of her own pocket. So
yeah.
She's balling.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I almost wonder if
Davison.
Yeah. What if we take half of that money and invest it into stock market? I don't know. Or
Fortune, the S&P 500, and then some bonds.
Yeah.
Silver. I think silver is on the up. My brother told me he's buying silver.
Okay. Some Bitcoin. No, do not take us for my financial advice. This is not a financial podcast.
Reach out to my guy, either Zach Mello or Keith Davidson. Zach Mello, if you're in the Indianapolis area. Keith Davidson, my financial advisor, hooking it up. Also a good wrestling guy.
Yeah, sometimes he returns text 3 years later.
He does do that. Sometimes he just reaches out of the blue and like finishes a conversation you had months ago, like on the phone. So that movie, how did it end up ending? What movie are we talking about, man? Great dude, amazing dude.
Yeah. So, there's some good tangents on that. Yeah. No, youth wrestling, the sport. I think,
and actually, come back to the beginning. If you have a youth kid, take them to CWA, sponsor of the show. Yeah. They have multiple locations, great coaches.
Yes. No, I think the biggest thing with wrestling is retention. And I remember seeing a USAW guy was at the coaches clinic a while ago, because I haven't been to one for a while. But one of the things he said was the retention rate is like 50%. He's like, our numbers, and I'll just say, I know this is very low. Like they said, like our numbers are pretty much the same, like 10,000 kids a year memberships, but half of them are brand new and half stay the same. And obviously there's some seniors and kids that, graduate that fall off, but the retention rate of the youth kids is, if you'd keep 75% and still add that to their 5,000 or whatever it was, think of how quick, how much we'd grow every year. And I think there's some things like our youth events, selling the parents, you guys saw me. I'm not going to sit in the gym all day for 6 hours. It's not the most exciting thing to do. My son doesn't want to be there. So let's have a weeknight event, just like we do. I don't spend any Sundays at the baseball field when we were playing rec ball. We were there during the week, maybe a Saturday morning once every year, opening day, that kind of stuff. We could do a lot better with the sport and help with the retention, because you got to retain the parents. If you retain the parents, you retain the kids. So
actually, I'm going to start going. I'm not going to any youth wrestling things. Maybe my nephew will wrestle. I'm going to start an illegal gambling thing. So instead of like doing that, I'm going to have some dice on the side. We throw some click clack, bring your dollars.
So signing up for the beginner bracket and the open bracket.
I'm telling you, man, I think there's some money to be made. We can get a little area going. We can get some dice game going.
Yes. Yeah.
Gambling. But I think we ranted on a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of digest.
Yeah. So
let's get to the real stuff. Our top 5 list.
Our top 5. Let me get that set up. I guess some people won't understand what the purpose of a beginner bracket is. It's obviously for some, it's just to get another medal and pad your stats.
I was trying to get in the beginner snow shoveling bracket. I was helping these kids from the block. We're trying to come back and make $40, man. Like I was out there. I have a snow blower, but
oh wow, I don't have one. I need to do it.
Dude, you're back. And thank you.
Yeah. So
all right.
So
Top 5.
top 5 TV shows.
Top 5 television programs.
Yes.
Man,
Mine's going to be a little more older school because I am not the best at.
One of my favorite things is when I watch you post the graphic for the TV shows. Is whenever people go in there and comment on things that we did say during the
Yeah.
They're like, I can't believe they didn't do this. Like, dude, like watch the show. We literally talked about it.
Yeah. More mat time doesn't. If it's bad mat time, it's not good mat time. I'll just say that. If you go out there and pin a guy in 15 seconds, if you really, I mean, if you go out there and pin it 15 seconds, that's not mat time. If you're way better than a kid, that does no good for either kid. I mean, if you think that, you're pretty much you're not very smart. So if you want to keep going, we'll keep going because you're not good for the sport. If you're a kid that has a boatload of experience beating up on beginner kids in 15 seconds, you're bad for the sport. Oh, that's why you cut them a few times. That's even better. So you're just an absolute asshole on the mat and a jerk, and it probably shows. Anyway, let's talk about TV shows.
TV show. Am I going first or are you going first?
I'll go first. What am I gonna go? Number 5. I'm gonna go with That 70s Show.
Good pick.
Yeah,
I like That 70s Show.
Yeah, it's a good show. It was really funny and had a lot of
Remember when Eric Foreman was a Bears fan and they lived in Wisconsin? They went to the Packers game. It was the reverse of what it is in the region.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that was a good show. When they made it That 90s Show, that kind of hurt though, because I grew up in the 90s. That was not good. So
my number 5 is a show that I watched this show front to back from episode 1 to episode 2, and I was really excited to watch the last season of it. FX show Nip Tuck. I'm going Nip Tuck about plastic surgery.
Ooh, that's about like plastic surgery, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Amongst other things.
Amongst other things, there's some drama in there. Let's see. I liked Yellowstone.
Did I tell Kim I knew that you were going to put Yellowstone on there?
That's one of the last ones I really kind of binged, and then they had such a long. I really never finished the whole thing because they had such a long layoff between like the seasons after we got caught up, and it was like, this is bad.
Bro,
like, I just couldn't. Like, I was lost. I was like, I need to go to the end. I should have just waited till everything was done and then binge watch it for like 2 weeks and been done.
I had to stop watching it. I watched it when old girl like got the bomb. They bombed there, and then she walked out. I was like, bro, I'm done with this. I can't do this no more.
Yeah, that was one of the.
My number 4. And it's similar. I didn't watch the last season. Did I watch this with my kids? We watched a ton of it. If I stay home from work or I'm working from home, I'm literally gonna watch this show on TNT. Supernatural. I watch the show all the time. Love Supernatural, and it kind of spun right into The Boys. I like The Boys too, but Supernatural is gonna be my number 4.
Nice. Yeah, I've never watched Supernatural that I know of.
Pretty good, man.
I'm trying to think of what I have my list. I think I have my number 1. Yeah, I figure out if this is the one. Boy Meets World. Topanga. Just Topanga. I don't need to even say anymore. Topanga. If you know what Boy Meets World is, you know who Topanga is.
Remember the time that that girl was singing outside like their sporting goods store, and she was like singing like happy songs, and she went on a date with Eric Matthews, and they broke up, and then she got real edgy and got real famous.
Yes.
Dude, that's back-to-back shows that we referenced Supernatural or Boy Meets World.
I know.
All right.
We got to figure out a way to put it in the next episode now.
My number 3, this is like a COVID one. Dude, it's a great show, man. I love it. It's a make you feel good show. Ted Lasso. I like Ted Lasso. And I find Jason Sudeikis really funny.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that. I just couldn't. I have the attention span of a gnat at times, and I'll watch them. I got to get into like binge watching mode, and I haven't had that for a while. So I don't get to watch stuff because I have to drive everyone everywhere when we go to Chicago and stuff. And my family watches it. They should, they're on their phones watching things and videos and stuff. So
I do that when I drive too.
That's his number 1. So my number 2, Married with Children.
Dude, I love Married with Children when I was a kid too.
That's an awesome show. Just the humor in there is, you can still watch it, and it was edgy at the time.
Yeah, a little bit more edgy now, right?
Yeah, it's like it's mild now. It's like, man, that's not even. Yeah, it was very edgy back then.
Man, didn't they make you feel like Bud Bundy wasn't getting girls, but every episode he was getting girls?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Bud Bundy. Yeah. And then I always liked Marcy. Yeah, Marcy. Yeah. that the rival with her and Al was.
Remember
awesome.
Steve Darcy, and then he left to go into the forest preserve or a forest ranger, and then then Ted. Was it Ted Darcy? He was the bad guy from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes. Well, the best was when they adopted the nephew or whatever, but then they made it up like it was a dream. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, they had like a nephew there for like almost like a whole season.
Man, Seinfeld's a good one too. I didn't put that on my list.
Yeah. So yeah, that they and then they kind of just made it up as being a dream. Yeah. So
the Bob Newhouse was it Newhart? The Bob Newhart finish.
Yes. So what's your number 2?
My number 2. This is a combo pick, so it's gonna be my number 2 is gonna be it's gonna be the same show, just different. Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Another one I watched every single episode of.
What was the Better
Call Saul?
Saul.
You never watched Better Call Saul?
No.
Saul Goodman? No, it's SAUL, like Saul.
SAU. Oh, Call SAUL.
SA.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, Call Saul. Okay.
Saul Goodman, man. Saul Goodman.
It's not. Yeah. Like I said, all my stuff's a little bit older, other than Yellowstone. Yeah. I watched a little bit of Breaking Bad. I just couldn't. Like I said, I couldn't get into it, and I have the attention span of a gnat at times. So my number 1 is The Simpsons. Predicts the future, funny, still on there, still a little bit edgy. The 90s edginess hasn't worn off, and everyone stayed the same age. Made a movie about it. Great TV show.
My number 1, they also made a movie about. My number 1, and it took me a while, actually. It took me probably a couple years after it ended to watch the whole series. The Sopranos. I like The Sopranos.
I like that one too. Yes, that one was a.
I did have some of my honorable mentions in the comments. Paul Chandler with The Shield, but man, I like the second to last episode, season of The Shield better with Kavanaugh when he was with Forrest Whitaker. Those were the best Shield episodes. Sons of Anarchy was really good. I really like Sons. I liked Eastbound and Down. I thought that was maybe that was a little too edgy for the list. I like Kenny Powers. No, it's just Eastbound and Down.
Oh, he's
And there was one more.
ER.
I never like. Someone was asking me about all these like shows when I was a kid, and we didn't get to watch it. We only had one TV, and at 4:00, that was my dad's TV.
Yeah,
so
yes.
whenever I got to watch before 4, then I got to go hang out in my room. So we didn't get to like watch whatever television show or when I was whatever like TGI Friday, Full House nonsense. We had to like watch that on reruns. What was my other one? There was like one more that I told Kim I thought about putting on the list. Well, there was some that I really liked, but like these are like ones that I like. Those are shows that I like had to watch. Like those were like ones that like I was like, all right.
The real world road rules challenge was in the.
No, I thought we couldn't double up the list. That was like one of my favorites of all time. That's still one of my favorites.
You can put that on there.
Nah, yeah, go put it on there then.
You can put that as an honorable mention. I mean, you still watch that, right?
Yeah, of course I do. That's the it's a bigger sport than soccer to me.
So some mine, Saved by the Bell.
I thought about going with Saved by the Bell too. Awesome.
You got a little, you got some wrestling in there. Quick. I mean, it's like entering the beginner's bracket when you're a state placer.
That's man. Remember when they let Screech weigh in for AC Slater?
Yeah. Yes.
Man, there were some times I was cutting. I was like, man, why can't we let someone else weigh in for me?
Yes. Malcolm in the Middle. That was always.
You also had Bryan Cranston on that.
Yeah. Let's see what other. I did have Real World on my list. So, I don't know.
What about Grey's Anatomy? Did you have Grey's Anatomy?
No, not my.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've watched some episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
Voluntarily under your own.
You know, I feel like it's one of those things. You got to be in the know. I never watched Justified. Man, there were some other ones that I didn't put on my list. I really liked Oz. I thought Oz was really good. I know, like, I'm gonna catch some strays in the comments because I didn't put it on my top 5. The Wire, dude, I love The Wire. But those are like some HBO ones, are a little bit more, a little more risky.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta get some. So I wasn't rich enough to ever have HBO. So,
you guys didn't have Cheetah Docs, huh?
Yeah, we had the Farmers 5 as they call it here.
What is that?
ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, and Fox.
Dude, you gotta keep up on all the stuff, man. That's how you gotta know.
Yeah. So, mine are all 90s based, basically. Or
Fresh Prince. I liked Fresh Prince.
Ooh, yeah.
But that was a good one. I think I was a little too young for Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, we used to have had some, as Greg Moe would say, because Greg Moe was my football coach, the referee. So I can say funny things about him. We had some very 90210 type players on the football team, and we would watch 90210 on Thursday nights, like a couple times a year outside at the practice football field. And it was actually kind of fun, but it was, he would always call a couple of the players prima donnas, the whole, don't want to mess up your hair type guys. And we would watch those. It's actually pretty hilarious. And as you look back, and great team bonding and fun, and we'd all sit there watching. That's the only time I watched it, really, because I really wasn't into it.
Man, there's like some things I look back now, and the Golden Girls. If you're a Golden Girls hater, then I think you're out of your mind. I used to watch a little Golden Girls too. There were some shows that like I felt like when they came on, it was like time to go to bed. Like when I heard that MASH music, that might just put me right to sleep.
Yes.
If I hear like MASH coming on, that's time to go to bed. I used to like the Golden Girls, but like, didn't you find out they weren't as old as you thought they were when they were being the Golden Girls? Like we're basically the Golden Girls now.
Yeah. What? what age were the Golden Girls? They were the main characters were in their 50s. So
Yeah,
we're like
bro, like
a few years from there. Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, there was like a bunch like
Blanche was 47 to 53, so oh, crap, I'm getting real close to that.
yeah, we're out here tracking. We're out here living.
Damn close to it. Jeez.
Did man, there's always I always talk about. Remember, like when you stay up way too late and you would start hearing those like those CDs, like the songs, like the love songs, the endless love songs, and they'd have like one for like Tubular Bells and all this other stuff. Those are like songs. Those are commercials. That I was like, all right, I stayed up too late. I'll be tired tomorrow.
Yes. Oh yeah, those are when they started going to the infomercials and all that stuff.
Man, I haven't stayed up all night like 24/7 in a long time just to watch TV. Do they still like play like the national anthem at the end of like the broadcast day? Like, does that happen still?
Probably on some channels, I'm sure.
I don't even know what that is. Dick Bandy.
Dick Biondi.
Dude, when we stay at my grandma's house, I'd be like, they'd be like watching Mama's Family in the heat of the night. MASH, time to go to bed.
Yes. Yeah. The thing is, I'm sure if we sat and watched MASH now, it'd be like, oh, that's actually a pretty good show. But it was so ingrained that it's like an adult show, and it's ingrained into us that like it's not for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's I like Seinfeld too a little bit. I just never really got into it.
I've watched a lot. I've probably watched every episode of Seinfeld. I like Seinfeld also.
Yeah, that has some good humor in there. Friends was a little bit of a hit or miss sometimes,
but it always had Rachel Aniston.
Yes,
Jennifer Aniston, Rachel.
Yeah. Yes, Jennifer Aniston. So that kept. I mean, older version of Topanga.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's. I'm sure. Lists like these always gets some comments. I had some great comments in there. You know, that's some good shows. I always like how people like say random like number one, we either talked about it, but we also have a top. It's only top 5, so you know, there's a lot of good movies. There's a lot of good shows that I'm sure we will miss.
Man, I don't know if I ever watched a lot of What's Happening. Man, I remember like obviously now it's canceled. I can't watch the Cosby Show anymore. You know, guy gave some strong drinks. You know, I was in prison. Can't watch the Cosby Show anymore. But you know, like that, and then like obviously like Sanford and Son. You know that song's pretty iconic. You hear that?
It's
I'm not. It's probably gonna be something dirty. Don't do it, Joe.
No, it's Dick Beyond.
He's trying to get that Travis Homer was trying to get me last week.
It's Dick Beyond. He's like an old like announcer, disc jockey. So yeah.
What, you used to listen to Love Notes? That was always on when I was like working at restaurants and like, you know, Casey Kasem, like this song's like from, you know, Mike.
That's what he would do. I assume that's what he did, but I'm sure if you heard the voice, it would be like, oh yeah. Oh, he did WGN. So King of the Oldies. Yeah. So that I was too young. I think Nick's trying to say we're old.
We're older. He's like, we were listening to, what is it? It wasn't like Casey Kasem on our low notes. It was like Delilah. Like Delilah would be playing those like 100.3 like sad songs. Like you're at the end of the night, like trying to close up a restaurant. You're hearing that, like thinking about how your life's just passing you by.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, that's some good stuff. Yeah. So that's what we were ranking tonight. My son was asking because they have virtual learning tomorrow again. So he was hoping that we'd, you know, stay up and he wants to do video games.
Man, I think I got some video games too.
Yeah, we might next week. It's gonna have to be like our favorite region wrestlers.
Yo, let's do that.
So I'll put that on. I mean, it has to be region specific, right? So Favorite region wrestlers.
Should when we get our guests on, should we ask like what's their 2 like favorite region wrestlers of all time?
Yes. Yeah, we'll get I mean we can get their top 5 rankings too. Why not get top 5? You know, and so yeah, we'll get some guests, or just like favorite like just controversial region wrestlers.
Oh man, we got a good list of those too.
Yeah, yes. The lightning rods. I'm gonna have to.
Who's your favorite region wrestler to boo?
To boo? Yes. We don't boo kids. Man, no.
What age was it okay for you to boo kids? Like if you were in high school, are you okay to boo other high school kids?
I still don't think it's right. But
I think that was my first.
If it's your peer, I guess maybe.
I think my first year out, I was still booing high school kids for sure. I know one for sure I booed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
man,
you're out. You're still the same age.
I think that was my first year. Maybe my second year out, I booed him. He deserved to be booed though. So
yeah, it happens. So yeah, sectional week. Not a lot to talk about wrestling wise yet. Last rankings are coming out probably Thursdays and Friday. Look for graphics. Look for everything coming out. Good luck to everyone. Lock in the rankings Saturday morning. So send complaints to Mike and all of them immediately after they're posted so they can make any small changes. Looking forward.
Shout out to OC. OC gave me her number 1. The Office. I left The Office out there.
Oh yeah,
I get 100 Office memes a week. So
that is a great show. Yes, I definitely enjoyed the humor in that is pretty good. Yeah. So good luck to everyone this week. Stay healthy. Make weight. Hopefully everyone has their 6 qualifying weigh-ins. And you don't have to bother Mr. Falcons with things like that because I am sure there's hundreds of coaches that are doing that, and it's not fun. So
no.
I do not envy him these next couple of days because there's lots of seating. People ask him seating questions. They'll ask him weight questions like, yeah, we kind of only have 3 qualifying weigh-ins, and it's just not a fun time. You know, I understand there's issues with that stuff, but at the same time, it's not fun. So good luck to everyone this week. We will be back Monday, maybe Sunday. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. And we'll have episode 219, the region special. So I'm looking forward to it because
can we get like a background of the steel mills? That's how we'll open. We'll play the music. We'll just have the background of the mills, the lifeblood of the state of Indiana.
Yes. So good luck, and we will see you guys Monday.